take off the gloves. Oh, that's coming off nice. Took the time to do this right. Look at that. Rub that in there nicely, and we're done. Okie Woodsman here. We have a new axe I want to show you. I'm very excited about. Man, you might think that I'm sponsored by Echo or something because of how much Echo stuff I use, but that's simply not the case. I'm just a person that values my dollar. This Echo axe I just picked up at my local Ace Hardware. And this has been there since they opened, and I had been eyeing it. Well, I got this for my birthday from contributions from my uncle and my son. Thank you very much. Anyway, what caught my eye on this axe is that it is a US made head, and also I love that the handle is raw wood. There's no lacquer on here. This is like a stamped Echo symbol, but there's zero lacquer. There's this little sticker here. It says it's an HA 1282 Sport Utility 28-inch limbing axe, 2 1/4 pounds. It caught my eye actually, to be honest with you, because my boys have nicer, more, let me say it this way. I've spent more money on axes for my children than I have for myself. And I'll give you an example. These are all axes in a similar class. This axe, Snow and Neely, we actually have 2 of these. These were purchased for my boys. Each one of them has one. They're US made axes. I believe that they claim them to be Amish made. I don't know, but I will say this. This looks like it's actually forged and hammered. This looks like, I don't know enough about axes, but I'm guessing that this is a lesser expensive production method, but I could be entirely wrong. The edge came much more sharp on this Echo. This is also lacquered. Totally annoying, but the feel, the weight, the profile of the handle's excellent. Really, these are very, very, very similar tools. The Snow and Neely is a little bit, just a hair taller, not much. I want to compare that to the Cold Steel axe. This is a very, very, very popular Amazon axe, okay? Really common, very common Amazon tool. And these, I'm gonna put links to any that I can find for Amazon. I'll put a link to each one of them. But this right here does not look the way it came out of the box from Amazon. This was painted, it had black paint on here, lacquered. Actually, what this video is about is how you take care of and how you set up your wooden handled tools when they're brand new or when you want to maintain them in the long run. For example, this axe, I haven't done it yet, but I normally would, in this circumstance here, I'd sand off all of the lacquer. I haven't wanted to do that because of the name in here. I thought it looked really nice. Once I sand this, we might lose that. What I do primarily is I sand all of the lacquer off. If there's paint or lacquer on the head, I also remove that as well, most of the time. But again, this is about the wooden handle part, whether it be hammers, axes, mauls, any wooden handled tool. Boiled linseed oil on the handle, and you recoat periodically. There's all kinds of people that say every week for a month, every month for a year, once a year after that or something. There's something. I'm sure some of you will go ahead and let me know what your process is. What I do is I coat them and then I let them dry. I coat them and I get top and bottom. The end grain soaks it up quite a bit. So that's my process. What I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna get started on this brand new Echo axe. I hung this sledge on a new handle, again, raw wood, boiled linseed oiled it. It does really well. This has, I believe, a walnut wedge in it. I hung this quite some time ago. It doesn't get loose, doesn't fall out, works well. And an old flea market axe thing is seen some better days, it's taken some bruises. I bang wedges with this axe. Again, same process on this. I've just continually here and there put boiled linseed oil on it. I'm probably not gonna, I might wipe a little bit on there. I will be putting gloves on because boiled linseed oil is not a 100% natural product, okay? It is linseed oil, but in order for it to dry, they've done something to chemically treat it to get it to dry, from my understanding. So it does have dryers in it. You can just use straight linseed oil, but it takes a very long time. There's a difference between a drying oil and an oil that stays forever tacky or doesn't really dry real well. Linseed oil is a drying oil, but boiled linseed oil dries at a much more usable rate for this type of purpose. So again, definitely put gloves on. In order to prep for receiving the oil, you could just go ahead and go at it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this label off here. Oh, that's coming off nice. Whoever makes these for Echo, good job. Yeah, it's been on the shelf for a little while. I'm gonna use a sanding sponge, and we're gonna real quickly hit the surface of this just to take off some of the fine hair, the wood that's there still. Also, this has been sitting on the shelf for quite some time. Doesn't take much. I don't want to sand the name off there because I kind of want it to be there. I like it. I like that they took the time to do this right. Okay, so this is the time to do this. Of course, the axe is going to get smoother with time by handling it, but I'm satisfied with that. There's nothing bothersome on this axe handle. Now what we're gonna do, this is where I'm gonna need to put gloves on. Again, like I said, boiled linseed oil, you do wanna have your gloves on. I'm just gonna apply it with probably a single paper towel for now. I find that if I have too much of an applicator, it absorbs more oil than I can get onto whatever I'm wanting to apply it to. Shake this up. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this. Doesn't darken it significantly. With time, it will darken. Okay, so as you can see, there's not much of a difference yet in the coloration. Like I said, I've been looking at this axe for months. Been sitting there on the shelf. I was so happy that it was still available. Everybody, tell me how my audio is. This is the first time I'm using audio or an external microphone on my video. I'm hoping that it changes things. We have a little bit of a breeze out here right now. It's fall time. I'm gonna focus on getting this end grain here. Look at that. Rub that in there nicely. And this isn't a one-time thing. This is something that I'm gonna revisit over time. This is gonna dry. This handle's gonna absorb it up really quite a bit here because it's a fresh handle. And you also can't go too much because if you do, what can happen is it can get gummy. You also don't want to apply boiled linseed oil over a lacquer finish. I've made that mistake. What it does is it actually basically sits on top of it and turns to like gum. Then you got a bigger mess to handle. It's a lot easier to sand dry lacquer. All right, so we've already applied some on there. Some people will put it all over the metal head. I mean, you can do that. It kind of dries. It'll just wear off. I'll probably just get it on there because why not? While I'm waiting on that, I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe my other tool handles down real quick because it's been a while. Take this hammer handle here. I'm not gonna rough it up or anything. Just a quick coat right here. Get it up here by the head to get it nice and keep it nice and moisturized. Keep those wood fibers swollen. Okay, so this one's done. That's as simple as that. We're not gonna do the Snow and Neely because that one has lacquer on it, but I am gonna go ahead and do my cold steel. Cover up those bruises. It conditions it, protects it. It's also a nice handle to hold on to. I find that they're not real slippery. This size of axe I use for like camping, walking around in the woods. Like that Echo, they called it a limbing axe. But it's great if you've got low-hanging limbs, you want to chop off of a tree real quick to clear a walkway. Go ahead and get that in there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and get in this top here. All right, that one looks good. That one's done. While I'm waiting on, before I do my next one, I'm going to go ahead and give this another wipe down. It's very matte. Again, it's dull. So I'm going to go ahead and get some more oil on this rag. I've ripped my glove. Always have extras available. Boy, those are junk gloves. Man, once my hands sweat, it's really hard to get these on. Okay, so we're wiping this down again. Like my son said, it looks already dry.
Dry already.
Go ahead and wipe the top. Get that nice and absorbing. The wedge, I don't know if they glue their wedges in. I do glue my wedges when I hang an axe. I noticed a lot of people don't. I do. Trying to remember if Buck and Billy Ray glues his or not. But I certainly, what I like to do is I spread a little bit of glue. I use another hardwood, oftentimes a contrasting color. Put a little bit of glue on there, drive it in, let it dry, and then I'll cut it off. I'm working this oil in here. It's going to go in and seal the pores up. Get it on this end grain here. Plenty of oil on this rag, okay? You see that? Plenty of oil. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go ahead and do this axe here, my wedge banger. I'm going to focus on getting oil down real good on that split up spot. I think the camera can probably see that. So I'm going to get a close up here. Let me wipe that. Excellent. This is just what they look like with time, everybody. How do you like my woodshed? Man, my family and I, we busted this out, got it done. We've got a lot of wood to stack. It's right in front of me. I'm actually kind of like tripping over it right now. And we're gonna go ahead and get the top on this one as well. So if you have anything to add, certainly leave in the comments. I would do this on every tool, whether it is a hammer, a Stanley hammer, a cheap wooden handle from Harbor Freight. I'll tell you what, it takes the tool up a notch when you do something like this. I'm gonna do one more coat for today. And this is gonna go ahead and sit and hang out. And I'm gonna be done with it for today. I'm not gonna use this axe yet. I'm not gonna cut with it, split with it, or anything like that, because I wanna prepare it for use, right? This is one of those things when you have a nice tool like this, you prepare to use it so it lasts a long time and it's beautiful. Get some more oil in here. I'm gonna squeeze some of that out. All that's in there. So we're done with that for now. Let's talk about this Echo axe. The edge came very sharp. Nice raw wood handle. I like that. USA made. Anybody, do you know what that symbol is there? I'm not sure what that symbol is. Let me get up close to it so we can get a better view. Got that focused real good on there, buddy? Does anybody know what that symbol is in particular? I'll flip this over. It says USA.
20.
It's hung nicely, I think. It really is. It's hung nicely. I don't think that the axe is gonna, I don't think the axe head is gonna fall out. Real quickly, if it gets loose, I'll tighten it back up. I can drive more wedges in here. Oftentimes too, many of my axes I've purchased and the heads have already been loose. What I'll actually do is rehang them, trying to use the original handle if I can, because it's really nice. I like these thin profiles like they have. Remember, you don't need a tool with a 2-inch pipe handle if you're using it properly, right? This is not a tool that you're gonna split a 24-inch round of oak with. This is a tool that you will use for kindling. You'll use it for breaking up small bits of firewood, taking firewood that was a little bit larger, re-splitting it a little bit further, camping, and so forth. So, beautiful tool. I'm very happy with it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm happy initially. Compared to these tools here, 2 of them are made in USA. 1 of them is Chinese. This one is the least expensive tool. I'll put links to all of them on Amazon if I can find this Echo tool on Amazon. But I want to say that these are closer to about $100, these Snow and Neelys. These are around $40, and it's also a different pattern head. I've always wanted a pattern like this, and so that's what this Echo has gotten me, is it's gotten me that sort of pattern. I don't mind this axe here, but I just wanted to have a slightly different one. We use this thing a lot. It actually sees quite a bit of use from a lot of people in my family. My wife and my boys, they all have a tendency to grab this, pick it up, because it's just super handy. Take off the gloves, and we're done. This is Okie Woodsman. We're gonna be doing a lot more things on this channel. Do a lot of chainsaw cutting, do firewood, do building. We're gonna show tool maintenance. I personally like trying to do things the simpler, more skilled way of doing it, right? So you'll see me hand file versus using a grinder. I'm not saying I'll never use a grinder when I'm sharpening a chain, but you will see me using a hand file. I like to sharpen knives without much help. I do use a little bit of a guide on my pocket knives. If you guys would like to see a knife sharpening video, let me know. It's one of my favorite inexpensive US made knives. It's a buck knife. My son has one as well as myself, and it's a great tool. I have a tendency to like bright colors, so that way I can find it should I drop it in the woods. If you want to see a knife sharpening video, how I do it, let me know. I've done it multiple different ways. I keep my knives very, very sharp. I can generally shave with them. I mean, it doesn't shave like a Bic razor, but it cuts my hair. So I a lot of times don't have hair right here on my arm. If you'd like to see that, let me know. Okie Woodsman here. Have a good one. Enjoy your day. Consider subscribing if you haven't done so. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.